Hi, everybody, and welcome back to another episode. Today we have my friend here and health coach, Val. How are you doing?
I'm doing so good. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here. So, my platform has a lot of content for actors, and it's all about our job. But I think first and foremost, we are humans, and we want to show up as the best versions of ourselves, which is why I called Val here. We're going to go through a little workshop. So if you have a healthy habit that you want to start incorporating into your life, but you just can't get to it, let's just be open minded.
Essentially, what I do is I help people making an impact prioritize their health, their wellness without adding to their busy schedule. And they do this so that they can feel great in their body, because as you said, we are humans, and also so that we can show up powerfully for the people depending on them, whether that's something at work or at home or within our relationships. And part of how I do this is by working with people to create their dream life through intentional, healthy habits. Now, I know from following you, Olivia, that you've got big dreams and big goals and you want to achieve big things. And I'm sure a lot of your subscribers feel the same way. And I think it's safe to say that through this workshop, we'll talk about what it's like or how we can get in motion with our healthy habits, but how they bring us to those bigger goals. And the three parts that I've chosen to work with you today with are the power of identity-based habits and of course how to implement those, as well as connecting to something really important, which are our desired feelings. And then finally, we're going to be talking about creating consistency with an inconsistent schedule. So no matter who you are or where you are or what habit you want to work on, all of these things can be transferred into all different kinds of habits. And before we get started, my question for you right now is, what do these three actors have in common? We have Robin Williams, Helena Bonham Carter, and Gary Oldman. What do they have in common, Olivia?
They're successful,
They are.
they're really strong characters.
Mhm. Those are great guesses. And the answer that really I wanted to share was that they always understood the assignment, right? They have been known to really step into their role. And that leads me to ask, well, what makes these actors so great at what they do? How do they understand the assignment so well? And it's because each of these actors don't play the role. They don't just play it, they become the role. They embody the character. It's that embodying, it's becoming. And the two places where I find people find the most challenge or changing habits is challenging for two big reasons. And the first one is that we try to change our habits the wrong way. What we need to understand is that there are three layers of behavior change. And the first layer is changing our outcomes. This is where most of our goals are connected, okay? They're connected to changing the results. That's the outer layer. You can think of like outer layer outcomes. The second layer is all about changing our systems. And this looks like implementing a new routine or a new practice, and many habits are connected to this level. But it's the third and deepest layer that's the most important. And this is all about changing our identity. This level is concerned with changing our beliefs, our self-image, our worldview, et cetera, et cetera. Now, when you want to build impactful, lasting habits, you want to begin the process of change from the deepest layer and create identity-based habits. So if our outcome or our outer layer-based habits focus on what we want to achieve, the identity-based habits focus on who you wish to become. It says, let today be the day that you give up who you've been for who you can become. And I found this quote so powerful in the sense that it's like, okay, yes, we're creating our identity-based habits, and it's about who we want to become. So let's use an example to get there. And Olivia, feel free to jump in if you want to talk about some of your own bigger goals or identity or that kind of thing. You just feel free to pop in when you want to. So let's say that when we ask ourselves the question, who do I want to become? Or how do I want to feel? And the example that I have today is a healthy, reliable actor.
I'm just scattered at the moment, so I just want to be focused. I want to continue working, being that reliable actor that I am. And I want to incorporate more fitness, more mental stimulation?
Amazing. So, what's great about what you started describing was that you have a few systems, you've got a few identity choice words like focused and more energy. So, you want to be energized, you want to be focused. And then, in terms of like the fitness, that would be more of a system. So, you kind of tie into a little bit of that, the example that I shared, which I didn't plan. We didn't plan that before, but you want to be a healthy, energized, reliable actor. And those systems that a healthy, energized, reliable actor would need to put into place would be things like prioritizing your health and using your downtime on set more wisely, whether that's reading or studying, or perhaps you want to edit some videos well. I don't know if you're allowed to do that on set, but I know that you don't really want to be on your phone scrolling TikTok all the time. So when you figure out how you want to feel or who you want to be, the next question is, what behaviors, habits, routines, rituals do healthy, reliable, energized, focused actors have? And you can start to make a list of like, okay, well, I feel really energized when I get 7 to 8 hours of sleep, or I feel focused when I write down 3 things I need to do every day. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, okay, it's not just write 3 things down. You're doing it because you want to show up as that healthy, focused, energized, reliable actor. So once you have that identity, the identity then goes into habits and systems. And then finally, we start to reach those big picture goals. What big picture goals does this actor have? Landing a recurring role in a new series, or getting the lead role in a feature film, being invited to auditions and not just always going to auditions, but someone saying, hey, Olivia would be perfect for this. Olivia, could you come and audition for us, audition for this part? And that's how, when we start with that identity, it starts to expand into all these other areas of life.
I love that. The only thing is specifically with actors, when those goals aren't being hit, that's when the identity and the habits and the systems, like, are we doing the right things and not base my entire identity on my work as well?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You got it. And that's where a lot of people get tripped up, is that they're like, well, I'm not hitting my goals. But then I'm like, is the person who you want to be, are they worried about hitting their goals? Are they concerned with everyone else in the industry? You actually made a great point, because you said you identify a lot with your job and you don't want it to be, or the goals that you have, and you don't want that to trip you up. And it's really important to know that, like I have here, our habits shape our identity and our identity shapes our habits. And so when you are getting caught up in this negative sort of mindset, one of the shifts you can make is starting to change those routines, starting to change that mindset. And again, it's not as easy as just snapping your fingers, or maybe I'm making it sound easier than it is. The great part is that we get to keep making decisions that bring us closer to this identity. What would that best version of me want? How can I connect to that feeling word? And my question here is, so where do we start? And we start with getting clear about one thing. It's what you actually want. And, I just couldn't not put this GIF in here. What do you want? Just say what you want. Just ask yourself, what do I want? Not what does the person in front of you want, not what your acting coach wants, not what your manager wants, not what your agent wants. What do you want? And from there, you can start saying yes, you can start saying no, you can start making those decisions in that alignment. Okay. The other challenge, as I mentioned before, for changing a habit is that we try to change the wrong thing. And this kind of ties into what I just said. We've all been influenced by someone at some point or another. I've been influenced by you so many times, Olivia. I've bought things that you've shared. I've been really interested in like a lot of the different videos you post online as well. And I'm really curious about your routines and your behaviors. And there's no exception to that. I mean, we can see the behind the scenes of people's lives with the touch of our fingertips, right? Just using our phones. So it's easy to not even realize that you're being influenced by someone else. And I find that the solution to this is to create habits that matter to us. This is what I do when I first start working with my coaching clients, is I ask them, how do you want to feel? Forget your habits, forget your routines, forget where you're feeling stuck. Don't worry about your mindset. How do you want to feel? What do you want? And this feeling word becomes our anchor, and it kind of translates into our identity, right? We can say healthy, reliable, focused, energized actor, or we can put it all into one word. And we can, maybe our feeling word is focused. And you know that to you, that means the focus of what we've been talking about. And that's how you're going to start to make decisions moving forward. Does this best version, does this main character wake up and check their phone? Or do they meditate? Or maybe they go for a walk or a movement or a run or the gym. Maybe they journal. What habits and systems are connected to your desired feeling? If focused is your desired feeling, I highly doubt that you're going to wake up in the morning and check your emails right away. Now, I know that you want to stay on top of making sure that you're getting or you're responding to emails when you are getting called in to do to run lines or to audition. So it's creating this like kind of careful boundary with how often you're on your phone, or, is it the very first thing you're doing in the morning? Because thinking of the outcome, I don't know if every day we're getting auditions every single morning when we wake up, right? So just keeping a couple things in mind. And I'm not saying create this 2-hour morning routine by any means, just something that brings you into that feeling word.
I was thinking I'm personally want control, but of course this is an industry that is beyond control, and I think that's where the tension comes for me. I do check my phone in the mornings. I'm not on it long. I do check. If I don't see anything, then I start my morning routine. But I do have the internal struggle with I should be up earlier. I should be throughout the day.
And I just want to acknowledge that you are not the only one who feels this way. And I myself get caught up in the shoulds, and I often remind myself and my clients that we need to stop shoulding ourselves, because when we say the word should, that is coming from that outside influence. We should be doing it. Why should we be doing that? Who said we should be doing that? Is that because someone else we know does that? Again, is that what we really want? And I don't think you're wrong in wanting to change your word to control. If that's how you want to feel, then there are ways where you can feel control. It might not be industry related, but it could help you within that industry, or it could help you show up in that industry. I joke, I also I own a reformer Pilates studio. And so when I teach reformer, I joke and I say, listen, if you want control in your life, the reformer machine is exactly where you're going to feel in control. This is your chance, because people will tell you you can't control anything, but you can. You can control your mindset. You can control how you respond to things. You can control your body and the machine on the reformer. If you want to take a class, let me know. You can feel that way in other parts of your life or in other small things. And we just have to figure out what those little things you can do to feel that way are, to help you then start to impact the world around you if that's your desired feeling. So again, you're doing a great job by noticing, and this is really, that awareness is really going to be that beginning point for you to say, okay, well, now I know what's going on. I know that I'm not reading the books. I know that I'm not getting my bum to the gym. This has to change. And so, like I said, you're doing a good job. Another pat on the back. We're going to get you there. I'm going to get you to take action today. I promise.
And I love what you said about being able to take control in other areas. It's a great way to look at it. So I'm taking notes.
So creating lasting habits is about deciding who you want to be, not just one time, but over and over again. And I know sometimes people are like, this is where everyone rolls their eyes. They're like, oh, I just want it now. I want the magic potion. I want the magic button. I want to be able to feel better instantly. And I would always start by asking yourself a question. And that question is, how would the highest, best desired version of myself respond to inconsistency? So I have a couple examples of solutions that you can use today. One of them is that you can have some non-negotiable rituals and routines in your life, things that you can do anywhere, everywhere, whenever. So really basic, brushing your teeth, flossing, meditation, drinking water, journaling. These are things you can do any time of day, anywhere in the world. You just need a couple little things with you. And I know, Olivia, you did a meditation challenge for yourself where you tried to meditate. And I remember seeing clips of you like all over the place meditating, which I thought was really cool.
Do you want to start meditating more? Well, I really wanted to, so I challenged myself to meditate for the last 30 days. And here's what I learned. Number 1, I thought I could only meditate at home, but I surprised myself. Number 2, I prefer guided meditations of 30 minutes to an hour. And number 3, I've learned that I really enjoy spending time with myself.
What are some things that you do every single day without fail?
Yes, skincare. I don't care if it's 5 a.m. I don't care if it's, flossing all the time too, never miss a day, brushing my teeth. In the morning, I'm always having a glass of apple cider vinegar with like hot water.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the, I don't know, 3 or 4 things that like, doesn't matter where on planet Earth I am, like those things happen for me.
So whether you're getting up at 5 a.m. or 7 a.m., you have those routines already in place. And this is going to be kind of that continuity, I guess you could say, throughout each of your days, no matter how different the day is. Of course, there are going to be days where you have more things to do, but you know that you can find control, you can find focus, you can find energy with these things. And because you said skincare, something that's coming to mind would be whenever you're doing your skincare, you said you usually do it in the morning, or is it either morning and night?
It's both, yeah.
Both. Okay. Like the bookends of your day. So something I used to practice was that every time I did my skincare routine, I would say words of affirmation to myself in the mirror. And that's something that I think is really important for a lot of people to kind of connect back to, is like saying something nice to themselves, especially when they're looking at themselves in the mirror. And this can be something that you do with your skincare routine. But perhaps instead of just saying words of affirmation, you are reminding yourself that I'm in control, I'm focused, I am energized, or like, I'm ready for today to be, I'm stepping in today, I'm washing off my old self and I'm putting on the moisturizer of my new self. And it's like you're becoming that person in this moment, in this now ritual. And it's not just like, all right, I'm slapping my creams on, this is what I do every day. It becomes more of a ritual, becomes more intentional. So again, a suggestion for you to possibly
I
do.
love that. I love that too. Because, yeah, words of affirmation. Sometimes, like when I'm having a really good day, I always look in the mirror. I'm like, oh my God, you made this happen. So it's just about doing it on the day to day instead of only on special occasions.
Exactly. You got it. You're smart. Another example or idea is that I have a client who has 2 very different jobs, and it kind of reminded me of acting, how there's down days and then there's days on set and all the days in between that. So what we did together was we built a morning routine and an evening routine, which we called evening and morning routine A, and then morning and evening routine B. So when she works from home, these are her things that she does, which is in slot A. And then when she has her job outside of the home, she does everything in routine, whatever B. And she came up with all the things. We just put them into 2 different categories. And both routines support her desired feeling, even though the timing is different, a lot of the tasks are different. It's still helping her feel that way. So that's something to consider too, or that's something to create for yourself as well. And that's where you can customize. Okay.
It's funny because I've actually thought about that before. I'm like, okay, when I'm working, it is what it is. But when I'm home, I'd like to do this, this, this. But then when I come to being home, I'm like, you know what? I deserve a day off. And then you know how it is.
Yes, I know. You are a high achiever. You set really high expectations for yourself, and it has pros and cons to it, right? So earlier I said when creating lasting habits, it's about deciding who you want to be over and over again. So you said that you've been buying books, you've been preparing yourself for all these things that you want to do and all the things that support this higher version of you. But just like this workshop, what you're doing is you're just in motion. And it's a great start, but it doesn't bring us to automation. It doesn't bring us to lasting change. We cannot create a habit when we're just in motion. We need to create our habits when we are in action. This is where real transformation happens. It's through repeated practice. So your next move today is to take action. You bought the book, motion. Read the book, action. You bought all these fitness equipment, you have access to your sister's gym, motion, going to the gym and doing the workout, action. And this kind of is that magic potion, secret button, whatever you want to call it. It's you are the star, right? You're the performer, the creator, the actor, the artist. And people aren't going to see a movie just because of the lights and the camera. They want to see you in action, and that's what our habits are all about. And I feel like I went a little too cheesy with the actors stuff, but I feel like we needed to go there.
I love it. And this all kind of reminds me of a quote where I don't even know if it's a quote or a saying where, especially in university, like no one's gonna spoon feed you. Like you have to do it for yourself. No one, I don't know what the saying is, but you know what I mean?
And like I said, you have that. The first step is awareness, and you have already mastered that. Now you can take action. Now you know exactly where you need to take action. You can look at all those books. I'm the same. I have lots of books on my shelf. So, my dear, you can go and take action. You have your foundation. You have your identity-based habit. You have your main character energy, your desired feeling, and you now have the call to action, your intentional action. Okay. And this is how you're going to stay consistent. I also have a bonus resource or support that has not been publicly shared yet. It is the what I call building better habits. It's incredible for actors, performers, creators, artists, human beings, really. And I left a link here for you to access that, which will be at Valerie Living Life, my name, life.com/action. It is a customizable workbook, so you can type things in. It talks about a lot of the things we talked about today with a couple extra things, because of course I can talk a lot and we won't be here all day. So I really, again, thank you so much for having me, and I value your time and this conversation. How do you feel, Olivia? Do we feel inspired to take action?
Yeah, I feel like I've been in the awareness stage for a while, and now, it's that what's going to get me to do it. And personally, for me right now, I'm like, maybe if I commit to like a TikTok or Instagram series as showing up as my best self, maybe that'll be the push, because then people will be expecting the next episode, and then hopefully it becomes a habit. Like I'm just trying to get creative in the way to do it, so it's not solely relying on my motivation. Like I need some either accountability. I guess that's what it is. If you're not doing it with a friend, then commit to your phone. However you got to do it, you just got to show up. But yes, thank you. I love this. So many goodies. Grab Val's workbook, follow her online, and you're going to just feel like a better human being, because I already do.